Welcome to Hip Hop Now Podcast. If you're from the future, you know what to do. Get your ass out of here. Don't disrespect the legend. Hip hop is here to stay. Let's get right into the business. What up, y'all? I am your host, Vegas, and this is Hip Hop Now Podcast, a podcast specifically designed to keep you caught up on all things hip hop, music, and culture that happened throughout the week. Emphasis on the culture is not about just the music, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Big shout out to the supporters over at patreon.com/hiphopnow. And if you would like to learn a little bit more about that and what that's all about as far as the support and sometimes the goodies that come along with it, visit the link in the description of this episode. Really quick, Tale of the Tapes, my series right here on this channel, going through some of the cassettes, some of which, if you watch it on YouTube, you can see behind me. Going through some of the cassettes I purchased back in the days, mostly the 90s, to be honest. My experience buying them, kind of a nostalgia trip, So originally I did 12 episodes, took a little break, reposted some of those so some people could check it out, like on TikTok at Vegas World INC. You can follow me there. But now we're into the second set. And the first album or cassette that I chose for this one is Keith Murray's debut album, The Most Beautifulest Thing in This World. All right, so check that out when you have time. Those are quick episodes, like no more than 2 minutes or so of your time, because I know my time is precious, and I'm assuming so was yours. But check it out anyway. Could be dope. You could like it. Big shout out to hiphopdx.com, djbooth.net, allhiphop.com, and a couple of places where I'm getting some of these stories from. Let's get right to the business. So recently, the MTV Video Music Awards, which happens in September. If you're from the future, get your punk ass out of here. You already know who won. You watching this video late, trying to whatever. But in September, the Video Music Awards for MTV will take place. I already said it. Not Like Us is just too big of a record not to be mentioned in every award show until we are looking at awards for the next year. It's just going to happen. And right on time, Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, which is a Drake diss. I know we kind of party to it and forget what's happening, but it's a Drake diss. Once upon a time, we was enslaved. He still doubled down calling us. I messed that up. But nevertheless, nominated for Song of the Year. That's deep. And honestly, it's tough to ignore. It's tough to ignore for a number of reasons. Now, the video itself, I think definitely should be nominated because the video was perfect for the record. Everything in it, all the culture you got from it, right? All of the black culture, because that's this way you at. I don't know if you know, but I'm a brother. Shout out to the Tribe Called Quest on my shirt, and we're gonna talk about it. But just the video, everything displayed, not just black culture, but LA culture in particular, West Coast culture in particular. It was everything that song should have been visually, right? So it just made it dope, perfect timing, right? So I expected it to be nominated for a Video Music Award in that regard. But generally speaking, once we get to the American Music Awards and Grammys and BET and all of that, there's no way Kendrick ain't going to be hitting the stage every 5 minutes. Now, the thing I want to see the most, because I don't really watch award shows. If you listen or watch this podcast, you already know I don't watch. I just kind of like look at the nominees and watch highlights after it happens, because I don't have that much time to commit to mostly not that very good performances. Not everybody, but mostly I don't never see anything that compels me to watch it live. But if they ask Kendrick to perform Not Like Us live at any of these award shows, that's crazy. This is a diss record. That's crazy. You're gonna go upstairs, A minor. You're gonna be on stage, A minor, and you're gonna see people in the crowd, celebrities and other A minor. Drake might as well become the biggest fan of that song. That's the only way you're gonna be able to neutralize that joint in some way. Just join in, Drake. Just join us. We know it's about you. We know. You started it. You wanted this. Now you got it. Headshots all summer and fall and winter until we're done with you. But in true Drake fashion, because he just don't want to accept defeat. And honestly, I think the sooner he moves on, the sooner everybody else moves on. But right on the heels of this announcement of this nomination of Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, Drake drops 100 gigabytes worth of music and I think behind the scenes videos and stuff like that for free on a website. Now, I ain't going to hold you. I'm a Drake fan, but once you said 100 gigabytes, I'm like, can somebody go through that and just find what's hot and send it to me? Because there's no way, there's, there's no way I'm going to go through this myself. You know what I'm saying? But I think there's a lot there, like, right? There's some joints on there that people like. There's some joints that are kind of like throwaways. There's some in particular where people, because nowadays, especially when it comes to hip hop and this battle in particular, even some of the fans, but especially hip hop media, it's almost as if they don't even care about whether the music is good or not. They're looking for Easter eggs, like, oh, is he sneak dissing here? Yo, we told you about sneak dissing. You see what happened when you sneak diss. Stop it. Stop trolling. Stop doing these little things. Now, a lot of this has more to do with the fans, right? Because again, I'm not going to stop being a J. Cole fan. I'm not going to stop being a Drake fan. There's too much music they put out that I actually like, unless they did something truly wrong that goes against my principles, you know what I'm saying, that I can confirm at least. I'm not going to stop liking them, right? There's certain things I don't really want to hear them say, considering what happened with this battle. But there's a million things you could talk about. So it doesn't have to be about being a GOAT, being the top. Like, it gets tiring after a while anyway. Okay, yeah, you're one of the best. Okay, what else you got? So I kind of feel like he did it to grab headlines, but at the same time, just doing a dump like that isn't really the best strategy, because it doesn't get people to, like, put the battle, at least most people, put the battle to the side and just enjoy your music and what you offer again. It just feels like you need them to look at you, and you don't have an album ready or a rollout, because you don't just drop an album. You need to really, Drake's really going to have to, like, come outside with it when he finally does an album. So just this dump just seems like a reaction to what's happening. Like, probably every time an announcement of Kendrick being nominated or winning or doing whatever, Drake is going to do something, because he know people are going to head over to his page and start saying things if he let them comment, right? And I get it. You lost, you asked for it, you're not looking good. Academics don't matter. I mean, like, if you go to academics for him to tell you what's hot, I feel sorry for you, because you're not even a music fan at this point. He is clearly either being paid to be that hyped, or he really liked Drake more than Drake probably like him. I'm just saying, because it just doesn't make any sense. Now, what I've heard sound typical, and I've seen some people, a couple of fans online, And I could tell who's hating on Drake and who's not just based off of what they type. But there's just some people who's like, damn, I used to like this type of Drake music more, and now it doesn't hit the same after this battle. That's what happens with battles, like devastating battles. Quick example before we move to the next topic, but BDP, Boogie Down Productions, KRS-One, The Bridge Is Over against MC Shan, The Bridge, and Kill That Noise. Once we heard The Bridge Is Over, it was almost as if MC Shan, who was dope at the time, was nobody as a result, because he put out a good album after that. I think it was Down by Law, and most people didn't care because he had been neutralized by that diss record. It changed the way people saw him. Like, yo, he's super whack to me now. KRS-One pointed out what was whack about them and what was hot about BDP. Same thing happened to Ja Rule. People can say all they want, but there were a lot of people who was rocking with Ja Rule when he was on top. Not just the commercial records, but everything else he was doing. And 50 made it seem like, y'all like him? This is why you shouldn't like him. And then he went ahead and did Ja Rule's same style. But nevertheless, it just made some people look at Ja Rule as if he was never hot, which wasn't true. So I don't feel like Drake is whack. I don't like his antics. I feel like you need to move on, bruh. You need to stop doing things. You need to stop reacting to everything. You're acting like a 16-year-old broad when you do that, right? And that's not even a disrespect to women or girls or whatever. I'm just saying your behavior is very immature and not typical of at least me as a male at that age, and maybe me and Drake is just different. But I'm not the no new friends, I just don't have new friends. I ain't got to tell y'all, but I kind of like that record. So whatever. I like that record. So if you don't know, whether you are old head, new head, hip hop, blah, 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 if you think that hip hop is only the music, you are sadly mistaken. Hip hop is a culture. Rap is the music, right? MCing is the music. And a little bit more than that, more entertainment, whatever. But the culture of hip hop includes all the other elements like DJing, graphing, graffiti, spray things or whatever, the fashion, and breaking or breakdancing, if that's cool, right? And I remember before they announced that in 2024, the 2024 Olympics will be the debut of the breakdancing or the breaking competition. And so far, as of the recording of this video, I've only seen the B girls because it started today. The B boys are going to be tomorrow. So again, I'm recording this on a Friday. B boys is Saturday. If you're watching this on a Wednesday, it already happened, dog. Just go watch the highlights on YouTube. But I will say this, what I like about it, and it's not all positive, but it's also not necessarily negative, right? It's more some positive things and some constructive criticisms, right? On the positive side, I love the fact that hip hop is on a stage like this. Like breakdancing as a sport it's crazy. Yes. I also like how the stage was uniquely designed for them to get loose as far as the breakdancing. I just love the whole, like, I feel like I would attend. I feel like they should just straight have a Ice Cube. You watching, right? I know you got the big three. Literally, let's just start a league. And in different states or whatever, just have teams. Maybe start out with 6. Make sure New York got one so I could attend. I would like get season tickets just to watch this happen. What I like about the Olympics is also like the stage, the way the setup is as far as the arena. They got like a huge boom box in the back, right? I don't know if it's actually playing music. That'd be dope. And then like 2 DJs is dope. The setup is dope. So I love everything about it. I love the fact that the judges, because that was my first concern, was like, yo, but who's judging them? Like, we want to make sure that they're being judged by their peers. And it should be legends of the breakdancing game. If not other, like champions or whatever, because breakdancing didn't just come back for this. It been happening. Competition been happening uh, all around. You see the videos on social media all the time. And I like that. I like the whole vibe. The whole vibe is hip hop. My constructive criticism would be, I know where hip hop culture is today. It's global. Make no mistake about it. Breakdancing is in the Olympics. Breakdancing began with poverty in New York City as something that kids did and how they battled. We birthed what it was. I say we, but I was young, so it wasn't like 76. I was like 10, like I wasn't even here, right? But in the 80s, I was around and old enough to do it myself and to battle people and stuff like that. So there's the roots of it that I kind of feel like, where is it, on this stage? Because when I'm looking at all these other countries, and trust me, it didn't look bad at all. I'm not feeling like the hip hop is what I know it to be when it comes to breakdancing. You feel me? I know it's expanded and it's kind of beyond that. It's not necessarily what they're doing, because they're way beyond me. Like, I was looking at the competition like, man, I need to step my core up, because half the stuff they doing, I can't even attempt to try, right? Not that I would, because I'm not trying to die. I'm a little bit older now, y'all, if y'all don't know. But I just kind of looked at it like, all the elements is there, but there's some seasoning missing. There's some spice missing from it, right? Now, on some of the intros, I kind of saw it. When they was announcing names, they would come out, and I'm like, okay, here we go. I don't care about race. It's about hip hop. So when such and such from Italy is coming out, and they like got the swag in them when they moving, I like that. I'm just not seeing a blend between the skill of breakdancing and the swag that comes along with it, because that was a big part of it. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like everybody didn't represent, but there was just a few where I was just like, yeah, that's cool, but that looks more like you studied it. Like, there's a difference between, I want to do this, so I'm going to study this, versus I live this. I watched a video the other day where a dude was basically popping, not much breakdancing, but jumping rope, and it had Chubb Rock's Treat 'Em Right to it. The gathered to the rope already told me it was going to be ill. And it was all Asians, right? I don't know where this was. I was like, bring him to the joint, right? Because it was the way he walked up to the rope. And then when he got to the rope, he got busy. That's what I want to see more of. Like, it's I know it's breakdancing, but let's not just emulate it. And again, I'm not saying everybody, because there's some that I've seen, and I haven't seen the males yet, so I may be eating my words, but I just need a little bit more of the swag to come along with it. I don't need the stationary, general, what is it, Dollar General swipes of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, spin to in 1,000 moves, and I'm like, man, aren't they playing beats? Let me get a little swag on it. So that's my only critique. Is it necessary? No, because honestly, what I see from the competition, you judging the moves, but there got to be a category for style. I mean, even when you look at gymnastics, when they're performing to music, it's both. It's combined, right? There's what you have to do as far as your ability and flexibility and your landings and all of that. And then there's what you put together to go with the music. That's all I'm saying. Like, and I don't know, maybe there's some rights issues or whatever with playing certain types of music. Man, go and pay for it. Y'all doing all of this. This country's bombing out and all that while all of this is happening. So y'all definitely got money. I'm just saying. So next time, or maybe tomorrow, or maybe the finals, it'll be more of what I'm saying. But off my initial impressions, I love the fact that breakdancing is a part of the Olympics. I just need a little bit more swag with the breaking. That's all I'm saying. And lastly, so early on in 2024, Benny the Butcher dropped a highly anticipated, at least for me as a fan, album called Everybody Can't Go. And when I reviewed it on this podcast, I didn't really feel like it lived up to my expectations, so I was a little disappointed. And that had more to do with some of the production where it didn't really, I don't know, it lost some momentum for me as far as the album. Like, I love the song Braun, and I love like how the album begins, but later on, and not that I'm against Benny doing like any kind of trap records, I just didn't think they were that good. So it kind of dragged things down for me, and then the album ends strong. So that's sort of how that album goes. It's like you locked in, and then you're like, "Yo, what's this? What's this? What's this? What's this? Oh, we back, and over." So it was kind of like a roller coaster ride that uh, felt like this album should have been way better, right? And it was his Def Jam debut. Should have been way better. Well, Benny the Butcher said in a tweet, "Summer ain't over," according to the Butcher. So he dropped a new project called Summertime Butch. I know, I get the jokes. Uh, Benny the Butcher and Black Soprano Family, even though they're not featured as much. I mean, I guess they are, but at least the rappers aren't featured as much as they typically been before. But it's 10 tracks, 24 minutes. You already know with me, like perfect. But my feelings on it. So for those who need a quick review, I will say, is this better than Everybody Can't Go? Maybe for some people it will be. For me, I don't know. Uh, but I will say this: if you are a Benny the Butcher fan and you didn't like his last album because of some of the things I mentioned, I feel like this is more in line of what you would expect from Benny. Now, I'm gonna get into a more detailed review. Those who know, those who don't know. First listen I give is impressions based. Second listen, I listen more intently. Third listen, I just confirm my thoughts about the album. And my thoughts about the album is that I wish the production was stronger, because I feel like Benny's doing what he does. You know, I like the bars, I like the songs, I like the concept of the whole Summertime Butch joint. But I still feel like the high points on his previous album, Everybody Can't Go, are much higher than any high point on here. Like, there's no beat like Braun on here to me. And I kind of feel like Benny's reached a level where the beats can't just be boom bap. They got to be crazy now, because I think he's just reached a level lyrically and status wise where the expectations are so much higher than what he used to put out, right? Like, I don't feel like he could do that anymore. I feel like West Side Gun definitely understands that, because everything he puts out, whether we like it or not, sounds much bigger than the things he used to do when it was Griselda and it was him, Conway, and Benny, and they were just making joints after joint. Now, with that being said, I don't feel like this is whack by no means. I just feel like it's cool, but I just feel like everybody can't go just has higher points. Like when I press play on that, I'm more locked in. The production on here doesn't match Benny's output lyrically. Now, standout songs for me, and there ain't that many, right? It's 10. One verse Butch. I know some people hate the fact it's one verse, but it says one verse. Also, I like Nightfall. Summer 24, I kind of like it. Grew on me initially. I didn't really like it. I thought it was like whatever. Kitchen Table was dope. I like that joint a lot. And the last track I like a lot too, Higher, which ends on a very dope note. I do enjoy the fact when Benny addresses like real world things happening for him now, because it's only for so long you could keep talking about your past before you got on, because now it's like, yo, you're not even in that tax bracket no more. You're not out there no more. You already gave us a million versions of you before the fame and the money. What's going on with you now is the key. And for him to even take the time to note that, like, yo, people saying J. Cole got at me. I mean, he did have I don't think he got at him, but that John P's Caddy verse, J. Cole's verse was crazy, okay? And Benny's verse wasn't no slouch. But I like the fact that he addressed it, right? Like, yo, y'all trying to cause something y'all don't even know. Like, me and this dude cool. I'm taking notes, blah, 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 because that's how I get down. I like that, because in a lot of ways, I can go and argue that point against somebody online that's saying that about Benny, but it's not going to mean nothing because I'm not Benny. Until Benny steps out and says, yo, that this is what it is, da, da, da. That cancels those people who talk like that. And they not really here for hip hop anyway. They here to just have a hot take and hope it goes viral and then get a little $20 from Twitter or something like that. So I said all that to say, I think this is a good album. I think if you like Benny the Butcher, Summertime Butcher's for you, right? And if you don't want to hear any of that trap music, Benny, or this is for you. But I just feel that Everybody Can't Win just had higher points production wise. And I feel like whatever Benny drops next should be just more robust on a production side, right? Like, literally just take your time. Don't find no dope beats. Don't feel like you got to put something out. Don't do like Drake and just give us a bunch of throwaways so then people can act like you're falling off. Nah, just take some time, man. Take some time, and like, just like only big records. When you know they're big, like, boom, put that to the side. Boom, put that to the side. Boom, put that to the side, and just drop something crazy. Because next to Kendrick Lamar, Benny the Butcher is probably my second favorite rapper right now, and I'm not even going to complain about getting, these projects from him, because that's what I want as a fan. But I don't want to have my expectations lowered because I feel like the output is driving them down. That's all I'm saying. What do you think about Benny the Butcher's new album, Summertime Butch? Leave your comments in the comment section below. You can follow me on social media, any platform, at Vegas World INC. If you like the audio version of podcast only, well, I've been on audio for years now. So Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever it is, search for Hip Hop Now Podcast, subscribe and stay locked in. And if you want to see me on video, maybe you've been listening for years. It's like, man, Vegas should make a video version. I've been making it now, right? We trying to get to 500 subscribers. Shout out to everybody who subscribed already, but 50% or more of the people who watch this podcast are not subscribers. So if you enjoy this content, subscribe, like, comment. I do read the comments. I know some of y'all just want to argue. You can put something crazy in there. I might argue with you for a little bit. It's cool. But more importantly, share this content with people you know would also enjoy it. Until next time, y'all, I'm not a critic. I'm a fan. Peace.